Today, when we think of oxygen, we think of life, breathing, fresh air, healthy lungs. But once in Earth's history, oxygen was not a symbol of life at all. It was a weapon, a slow, invisible apocalypse that almost wiped life off the planet. To see how that happened, we have to go way back. Not millions of years, billions. Picture an Earth with no trees, no animals, no flowers, no fish. Just a rocky planet wrapped in a thick, murky atmosphere. The air was full of gases like carbon dioxide and methane. The oceans were green and brown, loaded with dissolved metals like iron. And the only life here was tiny and simple. Microbes. No brains, no bones, just microscopic cells. Most of these early microbes lived without oxygen. In fact, oxygen was dangerous for them. They used other chemicals to get energy. The world was low oxygen, low light. And for a long time, that was fine. Life had found a way to exist in the dark. Then something changed. A new kind of microbe evolved a strange power: photosynthesis. We know a version of this today from plants, using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make food. But these early microbes, called Cyanobacteria, were the first to do it at a big scale. And they had a byproduct, a waste gas, something they just released into the water and air. That waste gas was oxygen. At first, nothing dramatic happened. The oxygen that was made quickly reacted with other things, especially iron in the oceans. The iron rusted and fell to the seafloor, forming giant layers of iron-rich rock. You can still see these banded iron formations in cliffs today, like a geological memory of those first breaths of oxygen. But the cyanobacteria kept going, and sunlight kept shining. More oxygen was produced. The easy sinks for oxygen started to fill up. Slowly, over millions of years, oxygen began to build up in the oceans, and then in the atmosphere. What started as a little waste product in a few ponds became a global change. For oxygen-loving life like us, that sounds great. More oxygen, more energy. But for most life back then, this was bad news. Oxygen is actually very reactive. It breaks apart molecules, damages cells, and creates something we call oxidative stress. To those early microbes, oxygen was basically a poison gas filling their world. As oxygen levels rose, huge numbers of oxygen-hating microbes either died out or were pushed into tiny safe zones where oxygen couldn't reach them. Deep mud, underground or inside rocks. And this event was so huge that scientists gave it a name: the Great Oxygenation Event. It was one of the first mass extinctions in Earth's history, caused not by an asteroid or volcano but by tiny cells that just wanted more sunlight. But the damage didn't stop there. Oxygen also began to attack methane in the atmosphere. Methane is a strong greenhouse gas, and back then, it helped keep the planet warm. As oxygen destroyed methane, the planet lost some of its blanket. Temperatures dropped. Some scientists think this helped trigger extreme ice ages, maybe even Snowball Earth periods when ice spread far across the planet. So not only did oxygen poison early life, it may have helped freeze the world too. So to sum it up, a new form of life appeared, released a toxic gas as waste, crashed the old atmosphere. He killed off huge parts of the existing biosphere and possibly threw the climate into chaos. For the microbes that ruled before, this really was the end of the world. So why don't we call oxygen the villain? Because for the survivors, oxygen also opened a door. A very big one. A few life forms managed to adapt. They learned how to use oxygen, not just tolerate it. Oxygen, dangerous as it is also incredibly powerful for releasing energy from food. Cells that could safely handle it suddenly had access to a massive new energy source. That extra energy helped build more complex cells. Those cells eventually led to big multicellular life: plants, animals, fungi, and much, much later, us. Without that invisible apocalypse, there might be no forests, no fish, no dinosaurs, no humans. Just a quiet, low-oxygen world of microbes. No lungs, no running, no big brains making YouTube videos. The Great Oxygenation Event is a reminder that good and bad in nature are often a matter of timing and point of view. For the early microbes, oxygen was a disaster. For us, oxygen is the gas that lets us laugh, move, and tell stories. The same molecule was both the planet's first mass killer and the foundation of everything complex that came after. It also echoes a pattern we see again and again. Tiny changes in how life works can remake the entire planet. One new trick, a way to use sunlight, a way to breathe oxygen, a way to break down rock, can flip Earth into a completely different state. So next time you take a breath, remember, the air in your lungs used to be a deadly poison to almost everything on this planet. Life didn't just adapt to oxygen. Oxygen forced life to evolve or die. On the De-Extinction Lab, we usually talk about bringing life back, editing genes and designing future species. But stories like this remind us that life has been rewriting the planet long before humans showed up. We're just the latest players holding powerful tools. If you want to keep exploring the disasters that shaped life and what they can teach us about the future, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the De-Extinction Lab, and turn on the bell. Because sometimes the biggest monsters in Earth's history